Hello, every one person who watches this, probably my mother. Hi, Mom. Let's read Revelations chapter 12. This is where it gets very interesting and very. I've heard people give guesses on what this stuff means, and I'm not sure if I'm going to give you any guesses because I really don't know. But here we go. Then I witnessed in heaven an event of great significance. I saw a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon beneath her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was pregnant, and she cried out because of her labor pains and the agony of giving birth. Then I witnessed in heaven another significant event. I saw a large red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns, with 7 crowns on his heads. His tail swept away 1/3 of the stars in the sky, and he threw them to the earth. He stood in front of the woman as she was about to give birth, ready to devour her baby as soon as it was born. She gave birth to a son who was to rule all nations with an iron rod. And her child was snatched away from the dragon and was caught up to God and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where God prepared a place to care for her for 1,260 days. How long are the 2 witnesses going to be around? I know you guys weren't listening much last night. Where is the... Am I on the wrong chapter? Oh, here we go. All right, and I will. We're back in chapter 11, verse 3. I will give power to my 2 witnesses. They will be clothed in burlap and will prophesy during those 1,260 days. So, similarity there. Place to care for her for 1,260 days. All right, then there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon and his angels. So this is good versus evil. This part's not hard to understand. And the dragon lost the battle. No duh. And he and his angels were forced out of heaven. This great dragon, the ancient serpent called the devil or Satan, the one deceiving the whole world, was thrown down to the earth with all his angels. Then I heard a loud voice shouting across the heavens, "It has come at last, salvation and power, and the kingdom of our God, and the authority of his Christ. For the accuser of our brothers and sisters has been thrown down to the earth, the one who accuses them before our God day and night. And they have defeated him by the blood of the Lamb and by their testimony. And they did not love their lives so much that they were afraid to die. Therefore, rejoice, O heavens, and you who live in the heavens, rejoice. But terror will come on the earth and the sea. For the devil has come down to you in great anger, knowing that he has little time." When the dragon realized that he had been thrown down to the earth, he pursued the woman who had given birth to the male child. She was given 2 wings, like those of a great eagle, so she could fly to the place prepared for her in the wilderness. There she would be cared for and protected from the dragon for a time, times, and half a time. Where have we heard that before? Wasn't that back in the book of Daniel? The time, times, and half a time. Then the dragon tried to drown the woman with a flood of water that flowed from his mouth. But the earth helped her by opening its mouth and swallowing the river that gushed out from the mouth of the dragon. And the dragon was angry at the woman and declared war against the rest of her children. And then it just has a little slash or a little dash and says, all who keep God's commandments and maintain their testimony for Jesus. So a lot of people think the woman represents the church or Christ's church. But it's pretty clear who her children are. That would be people like us. People who believe in God. Then the dragon took his stand on the shore beside the sea. It kind of flip-flops as the verses from the King James, but it says about the same thing. I didn't read anything I thought was too out of whack. We'll have to watch a movie sometime. There's a movie where a guy said that this was written in the stars, so to speak. So I thought that was an interesting theory, but anyway, I'll have to find that movie, or I might have sent it to the Philippines. I don't know. We can probably find it online. We'll watch it. It's a good movie to watch around Christmas time. It's called The Star of Bethlehem. He's got some interesting theories, if nothing else. Like you say, there's a lot of theories out there. I'm sure there's a lot of theories about this chapter and what each thing means. Clothed with the sun, with the moon beneath her feet, a crown of 12 stars on her head. All right, well, that is that chapter. And I guess, at first I thought the devil being thrown out was, way back when. But it says he is the accuser of the brethren. Where is that part? Oh, I done lost it. But anyway, hopefully you remember that he is the one who accuses us before God day and night. Man, I wish I could find it again. Where on earth did it go? Well, I guess you have to just remember that I read it the first time. I was going to go over it again, but I cannot find it. That's interesting. So I guess the devil getting thrown out of heaven, if we're thinking of him as accusing us before God right now, that the getting thrown out of heaven is perhaps still to come. And I wonder what the a flood comes out of his mouth and the earth opens up a Grand Canyon, so to speak, to swallow up all the water. What do you think that's about? That's kind of wild. It'll be interesting to know, is that literal? I mean, I've always been, if I'm trying to teach you guys anything, is that as much as possible, I think we should think of these things as literal. That's and maybe that's my opinion too, but the rest of the Bible's literal. I think coming up with these far-fetched ideas about what everything means, especially when it's pretty plain, and a lot of it's not. I get that, but it does mention who the children are. That's obviously Christian people. It mentions for sure who the dragon is. We don't need to worry about that part. Mentions he gets kicked out of heaven. But yeah, just similar to 1,260 days and the time, times, and half a time. Might have to do a study on that sort of thing, I suppose. Time, times, and half a time. All right, well, we hope you all have a good night. Hope you all pray. And we'll see you next time.